Hey, it's Don again. Summer is flying by. We're almost to the start of August already. Um, Last week of July. I was contacted this weekend by the people that run CritCon, wondering what I am planning to do, if at all, for CritCon, which is mid to late October 20 something. I'll have to look at my calendar. It's immaterial at this point. So I got to start thinking in the back of my mind last few days of what am I going to do for CritCon? It's about time to think about that, to start thinking about that. Over the last couple years, I've got enough terrain and enough figures painted, so really it's just a scenario. So I really don't have to do a lot in prep. I need to make some adjustments to the Death Watch oops, all Marines mission. Um, so I need to make some adjustments to that, make it a little bit more deadly. Because I have all those demonettes painted, so we got to use them. I might use a little bit different terrain. I'm not sure about using the outpost that I used last time. I might go back to the cardboard because I'm also thinking about running a more normal mission. Probably there was one I did a couple years ago. It was like a Burn the Witch, where an Inquisitor is an NPC Inquisitor had tracked down a Psyker and is preparing to kill her, and the player parties would be coming in trying to stop that from happening. Um, I'm thinking to do that, I don't think I want to use the lab. I think I want to use the normal train, maybe experiment with something. I'm thinking about trying to use the impetus to work on my little friend over there in the corner, the servo skull, and having that ready to take and have that be some sort of my thing to work on for this besides the mission. I could use two missions that I've already done before. Another thing this last week that was brought up to me, somebody on Conclave had mentioned, "Oh, you're the one that does the how to play the Inquisitor videos," and I said, "Yes." I've not finished them. So, in light of that, I was thinking, well, I probably need to work on a few scripts for finishing out that series on how to play. And it would be nice if I got it done in a timely manner so people that would come to CritCon to play Inquisitor would have a little clearer idea of how the game's played. And I think I left off with awareness, and so it's not going to be much to do awareness and psychic powers and maybe a couple other things. I'm thinking maybe 3, 4 videos tops. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to run through how I design my the mission. Not design. I take other missions and rework them. So how I plan out my missions and things like that. So I got a target for CritCon. It's on my radar now, and so there'll be some Inquisitor stuff coming soonish. What else have I been doing? I finished up finally the install of the mini split for the cottage. I was trying to get in between the severe heat that we were having and some smoke that had come up the valley, so I had a good weekend where there was neither, and I got that done. So track. I got a couple new cars. I'm looking to work on that as well. So I got several things to balance here. Luckily, CritCon is in October. So, we have 3 months to get that going, and I have no big terrain or monsters to paint up or anything else. So, which is nice. It's probably the first year where I don't have a thing on my head going, oh, I need to get all this done before I do that. I can pretty much just sort of grab everything, make sure it's portable, and go. I will go back down to the 4x4 table for the demo games. I'm not planning, after the last 3DR con, I'm not planning to do a big Q&A learn to plague. session. I liked cutting out a few hours and just sort of working slowly through the first couple rounds for the players. And the ones that really want to know how to play beforehand can watch the videos. Otherwise, they'll learn as they go. That's where I'm at with this. This is a little short update. I'll probably save it before I do post this up. I have a few other things to add to this, so I'll do that. And this is just the start. Hey, I was editing this video, and I thought that I would add one more thing that from the conversation I had on the conclave, and I wanted to fall back to what I had said back when I first started doing the Inquisitor coverage on this YouTube. Is um, tabletop minions. Uncle Adam, he had said at one point, and I can't remember how far back it was when he said it, but I've been watching his site for his videos for his blog for a long time. Anyhow, he had said that if you can't find the game that you want to play, this is paraphrasing. It's not quite what he said, but if you can't find it, you kind of have to make that happen. And that's what I did when I started doing the how-to videos and hosting games at 3D Roleplay Con and at CritCon. I started doing these learning demo games because I wanted to see some of that game getting played in my area. And I'm in the Pacific Northwest, outside of Portland, Oregon. And so both those events take place in Portland, Oregon. So I travel into town to do these events and to play these games of Inquisitor. And so I wanted to do a callback to that. Um, and thank you, Uncle Adam. I want to do a callback to that because that was my impetus for doing Inquisitor. My plan down the road is to do some other dead games and sort of uh, learn how to play them myself and then show other people how to play them through the video and through probably doing them at some of the local cons here. I mean, there's a couple other cons that I don't do games at. It's just these two that I do. They're nicely spaced, about 6 months apart, in the fall and the spring, and these my summers open. So I like it that way. Anyhow, I wanted to put that out there. If you're looking for a game that's not being played in your area and you have that passion to play that game, make it happen. Um, 4x4 table is typically enough, especially for Inquisitor. Um, maybe 6 figures. You can 3D print them. You can play Ink 28. You just play it on the 4x4. It'd be huge if you did a 28 and used kill team miniatures or pull from the whole pantheon of 28K or 28 millimeter 40K figures or adjacent figures. You could do anything you want. There's a lot. If I was to go back and start over, I would think maybe I should do 28 millimeter. I do 54 because I'm sort of a completist that way. My own failing, or or whichever way you want to look at it. But again, is make that change happen. I'm showing you how to play Inquisitor. I'm here for questions. The conclave is there for that's where I pulled everything into my head was the conclave and other places online where people some old sites are still hanging around, old articles in Fanatic and things, and just sort of pulling that in and getting a handle on it. You can do that with any of these games. I'm going to do Dark Future. I want to do Hybrid by Hybrid, which is a game off of Cadwallon. Um, it's a board game. There's a couple other games. There's a Dark Age card game that I'd like to do. I love Dark Age. It's probably still my favorite miniatures game, and doesn't get played. But the miniatures are beautiful, and I have a lot of figures, so I'll probably touch on that at some point. I don't want to become a dead game library, but they're not dead games if people play them. I believe Uncle Adam at Tabletop Minions said that as well. It's not dead if you play it. What's great about these games that are not being published or anymore, the rules aren't going to change on you. You can house rule things that are kind of funky that are easy enough because you're not like playing in a worldwide tournament. Um, you can usually find all these games as PDFs, and on eBay you can find old figures fairly cheap. So it's a good thing to do. I mean, just just try it, and you can still play your 40Ks and stuff like that if you want to spend that kind of money and have that many rule changes in 2 or 3 years. But there's these other games that can be played, and it's going to take you as a passionate player to push that in your local meta. And if your local meta is just really not into that, then you're going to have to do a little bit wider searches, and maybe it's a bigger metro. Maybe it's within a 300-mile radius. I'm not sure. I live on the West Coast. Everything's far away. East Coast, everything's closer. I imagine you'd have a lot better chance if you're on the East Coast to try to find something 2 or 3 hours away. 2 or 3 hours away for me is the next biggest city. Seattle is up the road. That's the next biggest city. There's other smaller cities that I can probably find some gamers in, which I have pulled from. So it's not impossible. I'm just saying, be the change you want to see if you want to push it that far. If you don't see Inquisitor being played in your particular area and you want it played, check out your local independent cons that are going on. See if you can get a table. Throw a demo thing, a game together, a scenario or two that you can play within an hour and a half too. And do it for free. Supply all the figures, supply all the miniatures, have all the dice ready, have everything ready to go, just to play out some scenarios, really short ones, and make it a spectacle. People are going to stop and go, "What? How come the figures are too big? How come they're so big?" And then you explain, "Oh, this is a game that came out in the '90s," and then you go from there. And I just wanted to add this conceivably longer speech into the other part of this video. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.